Hello everyone and welcome back to another Universe Sandbox video, and today we are going to be making a solar system based off the periodic table. So it's going to be one object per element, and obviously the periodic table has got over 100 plus, 100 and, I think it's over 118 elements now, isn't it? So it's going to be pretty wild. I mean, some of these elements I've never even heard of, so if maybe I'll skip a few, but we're going to get all the main elements down, that's for sure. So definitely all the elements up to probably platinum onwards. I mean, gold, platinum, all the way up to at least element 90, roughly, we're going to go for. So should be pretty awesome. So without further ado, let's get into this. So first of all, as you can see, we have a star here, and this is element number 1, hydrogen. Obviously, if you're going to have an element based off hydrogen, or a planet or object based off hydrogen, it's got to be a star. It's got to be the centre of your system, hasn't it? Hydrogen, number 1 on the periodic table. Element 1, the building block of effectively all elements. So what better object to choose than a star? So there we are. So I've already got the system saved. So this is going to be called the periodic system. So, you know, very fitting name, I know. So there we go. So element number 1 is hydrogen. There we go. So done. Now, next up, element number 2, helium. So I think I already have the helium gas. So this is a modded object with a special element added. So I'm going to place that there. And now this star, I've set it up already. It was a custom star. I just picked a random star from the menu. So I've given it, I mean, it doesn't really matter how bright and luminous it is, but I gave it a fairly large size, 2 masses of sun, 3 radius, 6,000 Kelvin, 17 luminosity of sun, so it's a little more, it's a tad more powerful than the sun, you know, so there we go. If we took the zone, there you go, so yeah, a little more powerful. So first of all, the helium gas giant here, so it's getting pretty hot. Now, if I still look at the composition, you can see 0000, this has a hidden helium element, so in the game files, this was made by Mad Planet Guy ages ago now. In the game files, there are hidden elements that you can only access through modding the files, and that is what this object is. It is literally, this object actually does contain helium in Universe Sandbox. It's just it doesn't appear on the material composition because there's only 4 elements really set up here, or 4 composition options. So yeah, we actually have a helium gas giant here. So you can see it's already nicely set up for us. We don't really need to do any customization to it. We can't actually really, no, we can change the tint actually. Okay. Or do we really want to change the tint? I mean, I don't think it really matters, does it? But I mean, it's quite weird that you can only tint it. It's like a star, isn't it? You know, it's very, very strange. But no, I think I'll go with like a more sort of a brownish tint to really make it look like a sort of typical sort of gas giant. I mean, does anything happen when you heat it up? No, it's 1400 degrees, but it hasn't had any appearance changes whatsoever. So it is a very strange object. So that's what it should look like compared to. I'm just going to stick with the generic look it came with. To be honest, I don't think there's any need to change it. So pretty cool. So just auto orbit, yeah. And then obviously element number 2 is helium. So we're just going to call it 2. And then obviously helium. So yeah, we're learning the periodic table while we're doing this system as well, I think. So there we are. So helium around hydrogen, element number 1 and 2. So I'm going to make it a fairly large gas giant as well. Make it a fairly respectable. 3 masses, maybe a little, 1.5. No, Jupiter. Let's go to just Jupiter. 1.2. There we go. A fairly respectable size there. So, oh, that's mass, isn't it? What am I doing? Just a nice 1 Jupiter mass. 2.10 radius. I think that is perfectly fine. I think we're going to make the orbit a little further away. I mean, how close roughly is that? So that's orbital period's 1 month. Yeah, we're a little more than that. I think that's a more respectable distance. So, looking good. Now, does this thing rotate at all? I mean, I don't think you can really see the features. Let's have a look. It's always on here, isn't it? So it doesn't rotate. Okay, so just make it. I mean, I don't, because it's all the same texture all the way around. I don't think you can really see if it's spinning or not. I mean, you can't really see it spinning at all, can you? I mean, we'll make it half a day. I mean, you can't see it spin though. So it's a pretty mysterious world, this one. But I mean, it is spinning. So pretty cool. I know you can see it. I mean, that's just it going around the star, actually. No, never mind. So there we go. So that's element number 2, helium. So again, no customization needed. It is simply just a simple gas object. So looking good. So there is helium, object number 2. So we've got hydrogen, number 1, helium, number 2. So we'll try and we'll make it a little fancy as well. Let's go with some pretty... change the colours just a tad. Make it a little more interesting. So, and I don't want to change the tint. I leave the tint alone. Right. Helium will just go with a nice sort of paler colours. We'll get a little more interesting with the colours, I think, once we get into the more interesting elements, I guess. So, hydrogen and helium. It's like an orange and a gold sort of look so far there. So, yeah, we'll roll with those. Hydrogen, helium. There you go. Orbits looking good. So, next object we have got is lithium. So, let's continue to move on now. Do I have any... I don't think I have a lithium one, do I? I mean, I don't really know what colour lithium would be. I mean... So what colour is lithium? I mean, I ain't got a clue, to be honest. Well, when you put it in a flame, it appears to be red. So I guess I'll go with red in that case. So, I mean, I just searched the lithium colour and it immediately came up with red. So I guess we'll roll with a red sort of shaded object for lithium then. So, okay, let's rock and roll that. And what I'll try and do is as well, if an object is a gas, I'll put it as a gas giant. If it's obviously a solid object, a solid element, I'll make it a rocky planet. If it's a liquid, it will be a rocky planet covered in an ocean. So, for instance, the element mercury, that's obviously liquid at room temperature. For instance, I'd make that a liquid world. So, yeah, this should be quite interesting actually once we get into this. So, any templates I want to use for lithium, and again, I just want to use a red gas giant as a template here. So, I mean, this could be an ideal sort of one. So let's try this one. So banded 28 here. So here it is. Red lithium world. What do you think of that? I mean, maybe we're a little extreme on the colour choice, but I mean, we want to make it interesting. You know, it's not going to be boring. So we'll call it number 3, lithium. T-I-U-M. There we go. So there is lithium. Excellent stuff. And then some more reddish object. We'll go with a redder trail. So what do you think of that? Second object out. Looking good there is lithium. So I don't want to... Ideally... How large is this guy? So not as large as our helium. As you can see, it's nowhere near as big actually. I'll make it a little bigger. There we go. Says lithium. Cool. Right. 13 masses of Jupiter though. I'm not exactly... I'm not a fan of that. Definitely going to make that lower. I do not want it being all too dominant, so I mean ideally I want helium to be the biggest, so there we go. So there's 2. So I just want to make sure the simulation works as well. I don't want objects getting or orbits getting upset, so there we go. That's looking fairly comfortable, so cool. Right, it says lithium. How hot is helium? Let's have a look. Wait. So helium is 200 degrees, okay, and then this one is 142. Okay, that's cool. Right, nice. Okay, next up, we have got beryllium. So again, I have no idea what colour this would be. So what? So let me just try and use the helpful internet to try and figure this out. So what colour is this one? So beryllium. So element number 4. Honestly, I have no idea. I mean, it's not really coming up with anything. What colour this or element is. So, well, it's a silvery white metal. Silvery white. Okay, so first rocky planet on the list, I guess here. So it should be pretty cool. I mean, I guess we could say, I guess the lithium we could relook at as well then, because effectively that's a metal as well. I only picked red because of the flame colour. So effectively, no, I want to redo lithium first of all and actually demote it to a rocky world. So we're going to simply just do this. Remove the water. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we've got now. Oh, it looks like we've glitched it out. I'll check it out. It's still got a gas giant texture, despite being a rocky planet. So, I mean, pretty cool, but not really what we want for this system. So, I guess we put it back as a... Does that fix it? No? Oh, what the heck? Oh. None. Oh, well, yeah, that's pretty weird. I think we've just broken this. Whoopsie-daisy. Yeah, that's completely busted. Okay, we'll try... We'll quickly redo this actually. So I do need to try and keep it roughly. So I'm going to base the elements what type of element it is off what it would be at room temperature. So, for instance, gas, liquid, metal, all that, solid. I should say not metal. So, random rocky. So again, we'll do lithium. So again, this is meant to be a silvery metal as well. So a lot of these will probably be quite silvery white. So lithium, silvery white is the colours we're going to go for. So that's more of a white shade now. A base colour, here we go. So silvery white, I mean, it's what you expect really. Something like that. There you go. So, I mean, there's not really much we can't really make it that interesting, to be honest. I mean, it simply is just a metal. So, again, it's just going to be a metal in the composition here. So we're going to ignore the sort of stats here. We're just going to completely ignore this. We're going for visuals. So there's lithium. There we go. So redone that. Okay, cool. Right, so now going back to element number 4. So that's beryllium. So again, that's a silvery white shade as well. So again, another random rocky planet on the agenda here. So, I mean, I could try going for something down here, but I mean, I think we'll go for the more fancy ones with that. So again, we'll just go for simple random rocky. So again, we'll have it quite similar, quite close orbit actually there. Okay, and actually to save time as well, what I'll do is simply do is here is just copy the name of it, so I don't have to make myself look like a fool trying to spell all these as well. So there it is. So this is element number 4 now. So there we go. So beryllium. So there we are. Okay, now simply what I need to do here is no nice atmosphere, water and all that. We're not going for that theme here. So bye bye. No atmosphere either. We do not need it. So bye bye. Okay, and then again, so this one is a silvery white metal. So base colour, silvery white metal, you got it. So that's what you get. But again, it's quite weird how it has all these dark patches when I've really put the colour brighter. So let's actually just change the surface texture by making it a gas giant and just quickly... Oh, why is the texture not changing then? What's that all about? Oi. Base colour. That's a bit annoying. Custom. Elevation map. Oh, that's so weird. There's every some sort of weird glitchy going on at the moment. So I can't change the colours of these either. Oh, that's really weird. Okay, right, let's try that again then. Interesting. You used to be able to just keep changing the textures if you turn it to a gas giant and back. So I don't know why that's not working now. That's a bit annoying. So okay, let's try that again. Okay, so element number 4. So there we go. Right, okay, let's try and speed up a bit. So base colour again. So it still has that blacked out, all those blacked out patches on it. That's really weird, isn't it? But it does look interesting nonetheless. But again, it's still, the white is still the dominant colour. So I mean, it doesn't have to be ideally perfect. So there you go. Has like awesome craters going on. Okay, cool. Right, okay, I'll leave that alone. Right, enough of that. So lithium, beryllium, they are both there together now. Give them a slightly different shade, I guess. Lithium will go with the white, then beryllium will go with the a slightly darker shade maybe. Actually, no, since lithium does have a red, or does burn red when you set it on fire, actually, let's go with the same more reddish shade for that. Okay, cool. So there's those two. Okay, next up we have got boron, element number 5. So what colour is boron? Brown. Okay, cool. So it's a solid as well. So again, another rocky planet for boron. So here we are. Okay, we could have all these guys fairly close together, to be honest. They're all just slightly small rocky worlds. It's just the gases we have to be a little careful of and make them bigger. So okay, and it's already picked pretty much a perfect example of what we were after. I mean, I don't even think I need to customize that. That is perfect. Boron is brown, and we have got a brown object generated. Excellent stuff. So again, straight into the action, straight to the naming of it. So this is object 5, boron. There you go, and it's already brown for us. Perfect. So again, we'll leave that completely alone. That is perfectly placed for us. We do not need to make any adjustments to it. Excellent. Okay, and then a brown trail, I think, needs to go over there. There you go. Okay, good progress. That's 5 objects now. So the periodic system is growing. That's good stuff. Okay. Next up, we've got carbon. Hey, okay, so should be pretty cool. So I think we'll go with a blacked out object for carbon. Why not? So it should be pretty cool. So yeah, as we know, it's black. So pretty cool. But remember, when carbon is highly pressured and it becomes a diamond, it is transparent. So it could be quite cool actually. So maybe we'll try and make a black world with like crystal or white oceans or something for this one. So maybe we'll go with more of an atmosphere actually. So carbon. So random rocky planet. Again, we'll place it there. Okay, so carbon. So let's try to have it a bit of carbon and a bit of a diamond look to it possibly as well. So element number 6, carbon. So even I can say this one. So there we are. Okay, cool. So carbon is obviously a black shade. So darken it down. Maybe we have like a colour to represent diamond. Oh no. Okay, so yeah, dark, and then possibly just a tad bit of ocean on there. So we're probably going to need an atmosphere to make this work. But maybe just some little patches of diamonds. So add the water on. Okay, just I don't want to go too much. So settle water. Settle. Okay, there you go. So there it is there. So simply what I want to do here is water. Just a nice bright zone of water to represent the diamonds. So maybe just give it a slightly blue shade, but just a really nice blue shade. I mean, diamonds can be different colours anyway, so there you go. So there's carbon. Are we getting a bit far from the start here? It looks like, is it just getting dark? Or I think it's just because I made the planet so dark, isn't it? So the world of carbon with some diamond accents on it as well. So what do you think of that? I think that looks pretty cool actually. I do like that. Contrast, not red. Just leave that. Won't do much to it. Yeah, I think the blacked out areas with the diamond sort of oceans looking, that's quite cool actually. I don't want to go too much with the diamond. I think black still needs to be the dominant colour here, so we will stick with that interface. I guess we'll go with a really sort of dark shade there. So there's carbon. Good stuff. So element number 6. Cool. Okay, next up we have got nitrogen. Now I want to say there is a custom... There is a nitrogen, so we're going to put that straight in. So it's another gas giant, actually, the nitrogen giant. I'm going to place it there. Looking good. So another one made by Mad Planet Guy. Thank you very much. And that is again, like the helium one, it's got a hidden element in the game. It isn't visible here, which is nitrogen. So very nice indeed. So nitrogen is element number 7. So there you go, nitrogen. Looking good. So I don't really want to customize the color of it, so I will leave it alone. Give it a nice shade of blue to go with it. There you go, check that out. So let's just make sure the system is running nicely. Looking good. A little bigger in the radius, why not? There you go. Cool, what do you think of that? So that's our lineup so far. Very nice indeed. So you can obviously see the gas worlds are the larger ones in here. So far, looking good. A little smaller for the nitrogen. I think maybe the further down the element list we go, the smaller the objects get. Could be quite cool. Maybe something like that. So that's what we got so far. So what do you think of that? Looks good, honestly. I'm liking it. We'll make Beryllium a little bigger. Cool. I think Lithium should be quite a large rocky planet if it is element number 3. So maybe we'll try and keep it roughly. Try and make it the further down we go, the smaller they get. But I mean, yeah, okay, we'll try that. So there you go. Again, let's throw in another save as well. Looking good. Next up, we've got oxygen. So this should be pretty cool. I'm not really sure what colour we'd make oxygen, I have to say. So, because it's colourless, as we know. Because if oxygen was coloured, then we may see it. The liquid and the solid forms are a pale blue colour. So oxygen, we're going to obviously go over gas world, so it's going to have to be a very so kind of like Uranus, for instance. I think maybe we'll use Uranus as our default template for this, to be honest. So there we go, and then we simply just have to make it even more pale than Uranus is. So Oxygen is number 8. Oxygen. Oxygen. So, pale, pale blue, they say. So, oh, that's the wrong... No, I need to do the band colour. Yes, so... Just so you can see a tiny bit of it, but that is all you're going to get for it. Oxygen, a very, very pale blue, just so we can see a little more. You can definitely identify that as blue over white. Very, very pale shade of blue. And there is the world of oxygen, everybody. What do you think of that? So there you go, oxygen. Nice and simple. Since it is effectively a gas world, we'll make it a little bigger as well. So there's our orbital plane. So you can see not everyone is on... The orbits are slightly different. They're not all the same. Cool. So how far away is this from our star now? So it's 5-year orbit. Okay. Looking good. Whoa! There you go. Whoa. Right. Looking good. So that's everyone running nicely together. So we're out to element 8 now. So again, we'll throw a save in there. So next up we've got fluorine. Now I know this is a yellow gas. I know this because I studied this a long time ago. This was, I believe, this was the gas they used in the World War I trenches. This was the stuff that was pretty dangerous. It's the pale yellow gas. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is what they used in the First World War in the trenches. This is part of the halogen gases as well. I remember this. I did study all these. So I believe this was used in the First World War. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was fluorine gas. Yep. So not what you want to be breathing in. This would blind you and stuff if you got this close. So do not go near this gas. So pale yellow. So again, this one, first of the halogens. This is going to be a pale yellow gas giant. So I think I have ideally a good well to use here. Let's see. This one looks like a good option actually. Let's try this. See how this one looks. Pale yellow. Does that do it for pale yellow? Fluorine. And it's actually got a bit of a green in it. Because it does say pale green yellowy gas. So should be pretty cool. But then it looked too much like chlorine. No, it's got to be a yellow shade. So what we'll do is we'll give it a quick customize. We'll get rid of those green areas here. So I mean that's still, I mean that is definitely yellow if you look at it. So we could just give it a few sort of color increases to make it a little more. Yeah, I think that does look pretty darn cool. So fluorine gas there. So actually I will remove some of these bands. I think there's way too many going on here, so I just want to make it so I can actually customize it properly, so it doesn't need to have loads and loads of bands. But I mean there's a lot of them on here, so I will just lower the menu down just so we can actually see them all together. Okay, so we'll stick with something like that. Let's just make it like that. Alright, okay, so make those slightly more yellow. So I don't want to make it's more of a pale yellow, isn't it? So we don't want to make them too highly coloured. So we'll just make them all nicely fit in together. So yeah, yes. Okay, so just slightly go up in the colour options there. So I just want to get rid of those darker shades, especially. So yeah, like those ones there. So we want to fade those out. This colour here is still too much to me. That is looking very, very nice, and that is definitely a good one to go with. So just get rid of the darker shades. But yeah, this is ideally a very good world to actually use with this. So this band here is way too green in appearance. Let's make it a little more of a yellowy shade. So there you are. But that's looking good. I'm liking that. So fluorine. So this is element number 9. It says Fluorine, I believe, off the top of my head. Is that correct? Fluorine, correct. Cool. So there's fluorine. Think of that. So yeah, very dangerous world. You would not want to be breathing or going anywhere near this stuff because brutal. That is a brutal one. So the halogen gases, the first of the halogens. So there you go. And is that good? I just want to get rid of those last brownier areas there, make them more blend in a bit. So let's just make that so they do blend in. There, yes. I mean, a few of the shades are like a lime green, but I mean that's all right. We can allow that get through there. But yeah, that's looking good. So yeah, I'm liking that. So there's fluorine. Still a few grey bands there, just a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, so that's looking good. I really like the way that's came out actually. So there's fluorine gas. So pretty dodgy, and there's still a darker. Get rid of those bands. I do not want that. So just fade those in and out a bit. There you are. Just get rid of the last of the deeper colours. So more pale at the top, I think. There, this one's slightly too yellow as well. But there you go. So pale yellow gas, that's what you get. That one's still a little too greeny. There you go. Alright, okay, enough fiddling around with it. That is what we've got. So that is for the world of fluorine. So yeah, that is not your ideal place to go. So there's fluorine. So fluorine gas. Looking good. Okay, cool. 1.92, so it's a pretty large world actually. Let's lower it down a bit. So I don't want to make all the worlds like ridiculously large, so something like that, yeah. Maybe a little closer to the oxygen world as well. So orbital period takes 9 years, a little closer. Move it there. There you go. So there is the world of fluorine. So cool. All right. This is coming along. I'm really pleased with the way this is coming along so far. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. This is really cool, actually. I knew it would be a big project as well. Okay, next up we got the first of the noble gases. Oh, there was a helium count as one as well, because I mean it is in the same line. But yeah, we're going for the neon. So the colour of neon. So the neon gas. I think neon is quite transparent, isn't it? Yeah, it's colourless. Okay. But it has a bright red-orange glow when electricity is applied. And yeah, it's one of the noble gases. Okay, so we'll go with a bright red-orange glow to it. So I think I've got the perfect idea actually for this. Red-orange glow, you say? Well, I think if I go to the old glowing gas giants, I should be able to... Where are they? They're in here somewhere. Glowing, yes. I want to use one of these. I thought I had more of these. Right, okay. So I'm just going to use this. We'll recolour it, of course. So there we go. So this is element number 10 now. So 10 neon. Okay, so as you can see, it's got like this reflective look to it, which is pretty cool. So what we're going to do is, so as the mighty internet says here, it has a bright red-orange glow. So it's a discharge when electricity is applied. So bright red and orange, huh? Okay, so we simply just need to turn all of these to reds and oranges and see how it's sort of... Ooh. So you can see when we turn the colours really high up, I think that is what we're going to have to do. And then just get this crazy... Yeah, yes, that is what we want. So red, orange. Oh, that does look good. I do like that. Oh, yes. So red and orange. That's a little too much. And this one is also... The world of neon. Now that looks fantastic. I really like that. So, can we just try and dim maybe the shades out a bit? Maybe make it more pale, darker shade maybe, just so you can distinguish the colours a bit more. Now that looks better as a bright world. Maybe have it slightly more coloured in the middle at the top. Oh, so this is inverted as well. Okay. Then this is the bottom. But I think that does look good, doesn't it? So a bright red. So it literally does say a bright red-orange glow. That's definitely a bright reddy-orange glow to me. So looking great. That's great stuff there. That's ultra red. I think the orange, a mix between red and orange is the best sort of look to it. So somewhere there. Yeah, I like that. Could add more bands to it. No, that'll ruin it. No, just leave it the way it is. I think that's fine. So the world of neon, looking very, very cool indeed. Give it a nice bright red-orange shade there. Yeah. I like. Really, really cool. All right, next up we have got sodium. Okay, so sodium. I think this would be white. Silvery white, highly reactive metal. I believe when you burn this, it would have a cool colour, but we'll go with this, the basic. Yeah, silvery white. So we'll just go with a white world for this. We're back to the rocky worlds as well. So it looks like the gas giants will probably be the more interesting worlds in this system. So silvery white. Let's go with this one. See if this how this works. So move all that. Base colour. Make it all white. Yeah. Oh, that's a nice, really white one as well. Remove the atmosphere as well. Or maybe we did. Maybe we stick with. Maybe we have our first atmosphered world. I mean, do we use it? City lights I don't want on. I mean, ideally we could just make this. So that's already white, isn't it? Oh, I broke something. Ah. Okay, that's fine. I didn't want it having that colour anyway. Okay. We'll have a little atmosphere on it, I guess. So that is sodium. Cool. So that's element number 11. The world of sodium, everybody. There you go. So not the most interesting world, is it? I mean, it's just a completely blank white world. So there you go. Okay, let's just make sure the simulation actually runs. I don't want objects getting upset by the orbits. So there you go. It's got a little bit of cloud action on it as well. We'll leave that alone. Cool. Okay. Looking good. Oh, this is so cool. I really like this. So, I mean, we're not going for a wild-looking system of wild orbits. We're simply just going for a world of every element. So, cool stuff. Next up, we have got magnesium. I think this is more of a brownish shade, magnesium. Is it more of an orange? What is the colour of magnesium? It's an alkali earth metal and one of the most common elements. It's silvery white as well. See, we've not got to the interesting elements like gold or platinum or anything yet. So, yeah, it's just another silvery white. So, yeah, a lot of these are silvery white, aren't they, so far? So, I guess we can try and use some templates of older worlds just to get us a few bits of interest. Let's try this. Just re-customize them to see if any cool modded bits come through as well. So, here it is. Let's try this one. So, again, silvery white. Move the water. Don't want any of that. Again, though, it's pretty boring, isn't it? But that is what we have to do. That is the rules we have to follow. Is we've got to try and effectively try and base it off the real element's colour. So, in its regular form. So, magnesium. There's quite a column element as well. Remember. So this is element 12. There you go. Cool. Looking good. So the most common elements on Earth is pure form, silvery white, relatively soft. So it's often used in flares and fireworks. Nice. So there is magnesium. Looking good. Again, just a white trail for you. So there you are. Cool. We can definitely move that orbit closer as well. So let's do that. Go to magnesium. Cool. Okay. So next up we've got aluminium or aluminum, depending on where you're from in the world. So I know a lot of people probably shout if I just called it aluminium. So aluminum. Hey. So obviously I know this one is silver. So it's just basically they use it to make aircraft as well, aluminium, because it's very light. So it resembles silver. Is what it says here as well. So just a nice silver looking world we got to make here. So nice and easy. So who do you want to try? I do want to try and. What about this? I just want to see if we can get any cool looking effects so they're not all identical. I mean, what about this? Can I try and make this one? Make it work? No, see that won't. Yeah. Maybe for uranium we'd use something crazy like this, but not aluminium. Is that just the atmosphere, isn't it? Oh my god. But I mean, it is looks to be a little more reflective than normal, so I guess we can try and edit this a bit. So first of all, the atmosphere needs to go, so I do not want that. See, that ruins it though. See, that's, okay, fine, we can still run with it though. I mean, it has a different surface texture. I mean, that's interesting, right? So base colour, I mean, doesn't really do anything, does it? I'm assuming this is frozen, that's why. Or is it? Oh, there you go. Well, that's all you're going to get. I think get a bit out of it, okay. It looks like it's got a coloured Venus texture, so there's something a little, at least it's a little different to the other ones. So yeah, that's all you're gonna get. So okay, no hydrogen, please. Get rid of that. No gas giant stuff going on here. So aluminium or aluminum. So let's go ahead and it's easier just to paste it. Actually, there we go. So this is aluminium number 13. So there we go. So all the way up to that. Next up, we've got silicon, and we will finish off there for today. So we'll get silicon done. So silicon. So what colour is silicon? So element silicon colour. Ooh, this one seemed a little more harder to figure out. Come on. The internet's not being very useful here. S-I-L-I-C-O-N. Aha! So let's see. So it's part of the carbon family as well. Actually, that's pretty cool. So what colour is it? I mean, it's a greyish colour. There you go. So that's element Si on the periodic table, number 14. A greyish, so not as white and silvery as the previous ones we've seen here. So there you go. So yeah, a few boring elements in a row here. But yeah, we'll finish it with silicon here. So I mean, yeah, it's just annoying we can't really get anything interesting out of these. But I mean, that's the way it's got to be, you know. They're not all the elements are fancy colours. So random rocky planet. Yes, please. Place it right there. Thank you. And then this one is simply just a greyed out one. So no, we don't want an atmosphere. Thank you. No atmosphere. Get out of here. Remove. No water either. Bye bye. And then a greyish shade. So base colour. There you go. And just grey it out. Simple as that. That's too dark. Just make them all. It's very, very boring, this one as well, but we will stick with that. So, what do you think of that? So, there is that. So, silicon. There you go. Let's put that in there as well. So, that's element number 14. And we will finish it there for today's episode. So, there we are, guys. What do you think of that? So, that is our lineup so far. Out to element number 14, silicon. But we still are not even, you know, there's over 100 elements, so we're not even 14% of the way in yet. So what do you think of that? So that is the periodic system so far. So there we are. But yeah, any feedback, tips, let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this. And if there's anything you think I should go back and change, also let me know. Try and get this as perfect as possible. But yeah, guys, with that all said and done, really hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, push that like button down below. Let's see if we can go for 50 likes on today's video for the first of probably many about the periodic table system. And yeah, guys, make sure to also subscribe if you haven't already to stay up to date with all of my latest videos. And with that all said and done, stay safe, take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.